routers all over my house.
See, that's great.
I have the big router by my computer in my room, and then I got the sub ones.
Right.
I got one next to where I'm at now.
Right.
One by my room, one upstairs. And shit's everywhere. I mean, and you know what? It kind of sort of works. So
there you go. I think we are officially live for that one person that heard whatever they heard.
Oh boy.
Turned them off already. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. You know how that is, man. Oh. All right, let's get this started. First of all, welcome to another episode of Untitled. I'm R. Jones, your host / moderator. Joining me, as always, my guys. Juan, formerly from the Bronx, BX, but now resides in Carolina. My man Dominic Donato. How you doing, sir?
All gravy. What's going on, buddy?
Everything is good. Everything is good. I can't wait to see this. I'm gonna bother the bishop. I can't wait to see this Knick game.
Oh, I won't be up for it.
Now, yeah, understandably.
No.
And also, my comrade from my hometown, Hollis, Queens, Sir David. Your mic is live. How you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm good, brothers. How you doing?
Here we go.
Wow.
You already know the deal. We're here. We're live. A lot
They
of talk.
came in booming.
Yeah, exactly. He got that. He got that crisp. Man. Trying to tell you.
Turn my headset down.
Oh, is it too loud? I'll turn it down.
No, it sounds
leave it.
great,
It's good.
man.
It sounds great, man. Leave it. Don't turn
Sound
it
like
down.
you're right next to me.
I'm trying to tell you. That's what's up.
The volume up.
Well, interesting show tonight. Let's get into it. We're gonna start in the lane of Major League Baseball. We didn't really. Did we talk about this? Not really, because we talked about the Juan Soto effect and all that good stuff that he went going to the crosstown Mets. But they're cooking. They're cooking. They went right to the books and whatnot. Went right to the cooking up stuff. They said, you know what? We lost Soto, but we're not going to stop adding pieces. Trying to get ourselves a little bit better. I like that the fact that they added Cody Bellinger and also starting pitcher Max Fried. Fried signed an 8-year contract, $218 million. I think this is a good move. It bolsters their staff because you have Garrett Cole already, at the head, and having Fried coming into his own. I think this is a good signing. And I love Cody Bellinger, former NL MVP. I think he's got the swing built for Yankee Stadium, obviously. Yeah, I like this. That's all I can say. I like what they're doing. And they're not. I don't even think they're finished yet either.
Yeah, and they got the relief pitcher Williamson.
Oh, I totally forgot that guy. Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Totally forgot because you have what's my man, the closer at the end? What's his name?
Weaver.
Yeah, Weaver. Thank you.
So I guess now he'll become what Mariano was before Mariano became Mariano.
Exactly. Wetland, right?
Yeah, right.
John
when he came, remember he used to come in before Wetland.
Right.
And...
Jason and yep.
Yeah, exactly. So this looks their bullpen looks very, very good. Looks very good. I'm liking these moves. I have faith again in the Yankees.
Yeah.
I gotta give it to Castro. I'm not a big fan of his, but he made these moves happen. Being aggressive. And again, like I said, I don't even think they're finished, to be honest. I still think they're going to do a little tinkering, not no major signing, anything like that, but a little bit more tinkering, to kind of fill out the roster.
They need a third baseman.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to let Glover walk, that means you're content with letting Jazz play second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, unless LeMahieu makes some miraculous comeback, but he's got a lot of mileage on him.
He does have a lot. Have a lot.
Now, are they going to put, what's his name? The guy we just got. I forgot his name already.
Who?
Cody.
Cody.
Are they going to put Cody in the outfield or at first base? If not, we need a first baseman.
Well, the talk is that he's going to play center. And what I like about the guy, he's on record saying, listen, wherever you need me, I'm going to play. I like that attitude. I love that attitude. That's team first.
They want him in center instead of Judge? Or?
Yeah. They want him in center instead of Judge.
Put Judge back in right field. I get that part. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're short a couple of infielders, though.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I will say, as somebody who doesn't watch the Yankees that often, I was actually impressed by Judge's athleticism.
Yeah. He's that big.
Yeah, be that big, and you think of center field for the Yankees, and we're not talking about the old Yankee Stadium, but still, that's a lot of ground to cover. So I was rather impressed that when I saw him, and I saw him in person at City Field doing it. But I'm gonna say this, and I know Dom, you got more to say because it's more your team, but I'm actually impressed by the moves that the Yankees have made. They didn't wallow in losing Soto,
Right.
and we joked about it a lot last year, but the business side of baseball, of course. I think that they did what they needed to do, and I think that they filled more needs than they would have just by going out and spending a ton of money on Soto. I think that the Soto move for the Mets meant more to the Mets than it would have meant to the Yankees.
Right.
All jokes aside, I think that the fact that you had uh, most sought out the most sought after free agent of the year in Soto, and the Mets, um, Bishop kind of like teased me a little bit about
a little bit,
just a little bit, but I'm serious about the branding, the rebranding, the image of it's been a couple years now with Cohen, but it's doing a lot to rebrand the Mets from that image of being this cheap, poorly run franchise that nobody wants to play for. And granted, I mean, Soto can say what he wanted to say, but we know that it was about the money. But still, a lot of guys have turned down the Mets just because of an image of them being a losing franchise. And I'm talking about on and off the field. So Cohen has done a lot with that, and also the a lot of alumni with the Mets feel a lot more welcome coming back to the ballpark than they did under the Wilpons. So that's why I say for the Mets, it was more important to them than the Yankees. But I do like the moves. Fried is a top notch starter. So you got Cole and Fried. I mean,
and
that.
Gil.
Yeah. So you got guys. You got
I'll get to that in a second.
you got arms.
That's one of the keys, though.
Yeah, and I like Bellinger. I always like Bellinger.
Yeah.
So I think, and Art, to your point, that swing I think will do very well in Yankee Stadium. So I can't hate on it. I definitely think that they went out and they licked their wounds with Soto and went out there and then took care of business. So I kudos to the Yankees for that.
Yeah. Another thing I want to add too, if you don't mind. Sorry, Dom.
Go ahead. No.
Let's not forget about the other elephant in the room. This guy Dominguez. He's going to get a full shot. He's going to get and I like what I see. He's going to get a full shot at an everyday spot. I believe in left field.
Yeah.
So that's another addition because this kid can hit. He can rake.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So having Bellinger and Dominguez out in the outfield every day, listen, you can't be down on this. You have to, as a Yankee fan, you have to be very optimistic. You know what I'm saying? In addition with Max Fried as well. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Right. Yeah. And here's the real caveat to all of this, guys. They only signed one player.
Yeah.
They only got one free agent.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Chicago's picking up some of the tab on Bellinger's contract. I don't know who's picking up the other tab for the reliever. I keep forgetting his name.
Devin Williams.
They're picking up part of that contract. So all they signed was the freeze. And you know what? I think Cashman. I think sometimes, guys, that these people really do hear the fans. You know, you was willing to spend $700 million on one guy,
right?
But you ain't go out and sign nobody since Moses parted the Red Sea. No, I think he started feeling that heat, and then again, like I said, he still got off cheap. But the Yankees, in the two trades they made, so they say, rumor control. They were going to lose Gil. Gil, however you say his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the young pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to lose him. They had to give him up. Guess what? They didn't give him up.
No.
Yeah.
So now you got Freeze, Cole, and Gil for at least your starting three.
Yeah.
They haven't got rid of Stroman yet. Stroman, if you could just deal with him, let him be Stroman the first couple of months of the season.
Yeah.
Hopefully he don't fall apart, guys. He falls apart.
I like the dude.
Me too. He don't fall apart physically. He falls apart somewhere between the ears and the plate, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you got three quality starters.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back to where we were, even though it was the years we were losing to the Astros, of having one of the best bullpens in baseball again.
Right, exactly.
You know, we're set up because who thought this Weaver would be this kid he was last year coming down the stretch?
No one.
We didn't have a closer, guys.
No,
we didn't have a closer. They said, "Hey, Dave, give it a shot, buddy."
Yeah.
And Dave went out there and became the closer. And he became the closer during the playoffs. I mean, they only won one game in the World Series, but he proved he's reliable. Now you get a closer.
Right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I will say this, and we all know.
Right.
Just like Dave said. The Mets needed this far more than the Yankees.
Right.
While the Yankees may have lost out, they didn't lose out. The Mets outbid them. He went to the highest bidder. We get it. We got it. Bingo, bango. But the Mets needed it. Here's what I'm afraid of. What are they going to do as a non-Met fan? I wouldn't mind having them on the Yankees because we are missing a first baseman.
Are the
Mets going to sign?
I hope they will. From what I'm hearing, the latest that I'm hearing is that there aren't teams out there that are looking to give him a long-term deal.
Right. Yeah.
So he might, by default,
stay with the Mets.
The only problem is his agent. It's the same.
Who's his agent? Not Scott Boras, please.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. It's the same agent that Soto had. So that would be the thing, because from what I heard listening to sports radio last week is that when they initially wanted to talk a deal, an extension, Boris talked him out of it and said no, and because Pete was ready to sign. And, he bet on himself. Unfortunately, he did not have a good year. It was for a free agent walk year.
Yeah.
He had a poor year where, fortunately, we're going to remember him for, interesting enough, the ball he hit off of the new Yankee.
Exactly. I was gonna say.
Williams. But still, and I think that redeemed him a lot in Met fans' eyes. I'm not going to say that Met fans were down on him, but it's New York, and it's people were expecting big numbers from him, especially being a walk year, and then he underperformed, but he did have that redemptive at bat, and that's what we're going to remember, and it sort of re-endeared him with Mets fans.
Of course.
Let's keep it a buck, guys. If you're thinking he's going to hit 351 home runs,
happen.
You're out of your mind. Yeah. Now, that's good, guys. Trust me. If we live long enough, here's where the Major League Baseball union, with all the power they have, this is where it misses the mark. Sooner or later, guys, somebody's going to say this guy is damn near ruining baseball.
Yeah.
Scott Boras. He's damn near ruining baseball by himself.
For a long time.
For a very long time, Dave.
Yes.
He's been riding this wave, making zillions of dollars.
Yeah.
But there goes that union. That union's going to say, Dave, don't even think about it, Dave. Because we got the lock and chain on our back. We will lock this shit up in 5 minutes. So here's where one day, guys, we're going to have this conversation that this guy single-handedly may have ruined baseball.
For sure. And it's been a long.
Let's keep it a buck, guys. He didn't just start doing this shit last week.
No.
No.
Was he A-Rod's agent?
Yes, he was.
Yes, and A-Rod fired him.
Right. Yeah, yes.
And A-Rod said, I'm going to go talk to George myself. I don't need somebody telling me that I'm worth $25 million a year. They already gave me $25 million a year. Right. Again, another best kept secret, guys. When the Yankees got A-Rod, like $17 million. Texas had to fork over for like 3 years out of that $25 million. So A-Rod thought to himself, why is this guy trying to nickel and dime the owner? Homeboy been getting over like a fat rat for 4 years.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure I can. And he just let him go. Y'all remember, guys, he said, that's it. I'll do this myself.
Yeah.
And he went to George, and he still walked away with close to $25 million.
He did well for himself. You know, the other thing that it takes me back to is the Mets GM president at the time was Steve Phillips. And you know, talking about how poorly run the organization was, you know, the whole story with the tent in the parking lot, you know, and all the, you know, we talk about Soto with the suite. You know, they had the whole thing. The Mets, what they used to do is they would half-heartedly go after who the fans were. Talking about listening to the fans, fans would say, I want this guy. We want this guy. The Mets would make an offer that they knew that they wouldn't take, and then they would create a narrative that made the player to look like he was the reason why it didn't happen. And they did it time and time again. And the fans, you know, eventually they caught on to this. But it was insulting because they would always make it sound as if we made this effort to get the guy, and we did everything within our power, and the guy just was, you know.
And you remember, Dave, A-Rod was a Mets fan.
Oh, absolutely.
He was a gimme for the Mets. And remember, the Mets or the Yankees, actually the Yankees were part maybe in it because they were still debating with the Jeter and the shortstop and the third base shit. And Texas actually became the winner. The Yankees became the winner 2 years later when Texas figured out we can't get out our own way. We got to dump some sort of salary, and basically they dumped $7 to $8 million a year on A-Rod for the next 3 years. So they still ended up paying 17, but he was a gimme. If you let him tell the story, guys, not Dominic tell the story, let A-Rod tell the story. Grew up a Mets fan. All this bullshit about he wanted a private jet and all of this nonsense. That was some New York media. He never asked for that. He never got a jet with Texas. He never got a jet with the Yankees. That was probably Dave serious. And again, y'all know I ain't got to keep repeating myself. I am not a Yankee fan that hates the Mets. I just knew this guy was going to the Mets.
So
and
did
remember, he really needed that shot in the arm then. And he just somehow or another. Texas. What did y'all? Let me stop you, Dave. What did you say when you heard he was going to Texas? Texas.
Texas. That wasn't even on our radar. But it was such. I remember the time because back in those days, I used to be not a manager, but I forget what they call it now. AOL had these groups, like sports groups. And then CBS sort of took over, but it was on AOL. It's like chat groups. And I was one of the people that ran the group, you know, and I got perks through AOL, and we could, you know, remove posts and do it sort of like what we have now with In the Pay. But I just remember all the talk and the excitement and then the heartbreak because we felt like you know, we smelled something was foul. We could smell something was foul, but we didn't want to believe that the Mets would really sink that low to paint this picture and try to bamboozle the fans. But I think also, if you take it back to 3 years prior, 1992, 93, whenever it was, when the Mets spent all that money and they had Saberhagen and Vince and all the disaster that came out of that. And I think the Wilpons got gun shy because they spent a lot of money. They brought free agents in. We had this team that on paper looked great.
On paper.
And then you had, you know, just one thing and one embarrassment after another embarrassment, and I think that kind of really was it for the Wilpons as far as we're not really going to spend. So then they went from Saks Fifth Avenue, Tiffany's to Dollar General.
Models.
You know what? You know what?
That's
You just brought up a memory when you listen about those bad signings. We talk about the Vince Colemans. We talk about the Mo Vaughns. But yeah, those are bad times.
But here's the scary thing, guys. Look back. What year did A-Rod sign with the Rangers? 9/11.
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
2001.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
He signed, and then we had 9/11 during the season.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Mets still had I say a very serviceable Mike Piazza. And remember, guys, I'm still on active duty during this shit.
Oh wow.
Actually, A-Rod not signing with the Mets was my last call for the Mets, Yankees sports, and my life totally went upside down later on that year, as we all saw.
Right.
But all I kept thinking, and I think they still had Wright, didn't they? Who was playing third base for the Mets at that time in 2001?
2001. No, I don't think Wright.
I don't think it was right.
No, it wasn't right.
Because we got Wright because of the Mike Hampton.
Right.
Yeah.
The Mike Hampton, when he went to Colorado, we got that pick, and that's how we got David Wright.
Remember, guys, it was only the year before 9/11 the Mets played the Yankees in the World Series.
Yes.
Remember, we beat the Mets. I think it was 4 straight or
it was,
5 and 5.
Yeah, it was 5. So, Mets won.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, the Mets beat them, but here's this guy A-Rod who's talking all this shit about being a Mets fan.
Yeah,
I'm boasting, guys. You know how it is when you're not at home, you're boasting about your city. Yo, this guy's gonna go to the Mets. We're gonna be running this Subway Series for the next 3-4 years. Next thing you know, this dude's in Texas. I'm like, I swear to God, guys, that's why I said that day. When he signed, I was like, Texas. I thought when the Mets didn't get him and the Yankees kind of, we really didn't need him at the time. I hate to say that, but we really didn't need him. We was on that run. I thought he was going to go back to Seattle.
I tell you,
you know what? Seattle was probably better than Texas.
To answer your question,
honestly,
your question, we had Robin Ventura as third.
Robin Ventura.
How could I forget?
He was semi-serviceable.
Yes,
but again, guys, Joe just went to the World Series. I don't care if you had Babe Ruth playing first base. You went to the World Series and you got a chance to add probably the best player in baseball at that time. Let's keep it a buck. Whatever happened after that happened.
Right.
He was the best player in baseball at that time.
Exactly. There's no
question. He was the first one that demanded or got that $25 million, $125 million for 5 years. Nobody got shit like that.
No.
It's so funny because Robin Ventura just went out of my head for whatever reason.
Right.
But that previous year, 2000, after the All-Star break, the Mets went to Boston for a series at Fenway Park, and I actually went to the games up in Fenway, and I was staying in a hotel. I was staying in the same hotel as the team was.
Oh, okay.
That's an interesting perspective because because we're fans, and you know how fans live and die with these games. And I remember that the first night, Mets lost, blew the game in the 9th inning. There was an error, and it just fell apart. And afterwards, we walked back to the hotel, and then we're sitting at the bar, and the players start trickling in. And SportsCenter was on. And so they're showing some highlights, and I see players trickling in. Some of them stopped at the bar. Some of them went up to their rooms. And I'm thinking, oh, no, they got SportsCenter on. They're showing highlights of the games, and the players are coming in. And these guys are like looking at it like, they don't really care. It's like, because I learned that they let it go. Fans, we live and die 162, one game at a time. These guys drive themselves crazy. if they hung on the last game. We're not talking about the playoffs and the World Series. We're talking about regular season games.
Right.
And I rode up on the elevator. I was with Mike Hampton and Jay Payton.
Okay.
And Jay Payton sees, us, I was with some friends and we have on Met gear. And so he knows we're Met fans. And he said, oh, rough game, huh? And we're like, down. We're like, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, we get him tomorrow. And that's when it like clicked for me that these guys have to do that or else they'd go crazy. They can't be like fans. So it's just interesting. And the last part of that is I remember one of the games walking to Fenway Park with Mike Piazza's father. And we were all just walking to the park. And of course we get there. Now, if you remember, right before the All-Star break, Clemens hit Piazza and Piazza was out for a few games. It was right before the All-Star break. So I'm walking to Fenway Park with Mike Piazza's father, and there's a couple of Yankee fans trolling, and they've got on Clemens Yankee t-shirt. So they were trolling both the Mets and the Red Sox at the time. It's a typical Yankee fans. But it was a great time. It was a very interesting experience.
I'm sure.
Benny Agbayan.
Yeah, Benny.
Remember him?
Wow. Yep.
Todd Zeal.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I met Todd a couple of years ago. I was in a suite and he came by. Real personable guy.
Right.
He was a professional, man.
Oh yeah, and he was
a pro.
Yeah, and he does a lot of the broadcasts. Post game stuff. On SNY.
SNY,
right? His daughter's an actress, actually.
Guess what? With my new thing with DirecTV, I don't get the live stuff, but I get all the post game. All the pre. I get SNY now, MSG. I just don't get the Mets. But what happens? It's weird. Not to get off subject, but let's say the game goes hypothetically past 5 o'clock. Where the schedule says the TV guide says post game. If the post game don't start at 5, guess what I'm catching?
Wow, you
the end of the game.
Yeah,
I'm like, this shit is pretty cool.
Wow. That's all right.
Probably the best thing I did was can Spectrum and go with this no dish, totally streaming DirecTV.
There you go.
Got my little genie I could carry with me wherever I go, and the price was right.
It's good for you.
Yes, Dave. Trust me, you don't need it. Like you can stream it. You can download the app, blah blah. Yeah. But I went with I keep calling it a genie, but I forgot what it's actually called. It's this little thumb drive you put in the back of your TV.
Yeah,
I opted into putting them in every one of my TVs. I'm not doing the app shit. I'm putting that little genie in the back of every. And you know what? It actually it's like a Fire Stick, but it's just DirecTV. And it actually works, Dave. I actually took the one out of my room upstairs, put it in my pocket. When I went to Florida, plugged it in my son's TV.
Really?
Boom. There was my name. There was my channels. I'm like,
I gotta look into that because cable prices are killing, man.
Yes, they are. Dave, check this out, Dave. For everything I'm getting, I think the only pay channels I'm getting actually is Stars and MGM. MGM was free, so. I basically got started, but I'm getting with my sports package. Check this out. With the sports package and everything I get, whatever I get, Dave, it's like $154. Wow. I was paying almost $300 for Spectrum, let alone their internet. I canned their internet before I even canned their cable.
Really?
Yeah, we got this new thing where I live called MetroNet, fiber optic, underground.
Really?
Blah, blah, blah. And I was telling R before you came on, not only do I have my modem and the router in by my computer, I set up all the little baby routers, Dave, all over my house for $5 a month. I got these shits all over my house like mice.
Nice.
And you know what? I never got clarity like this in my outside room when we were doing this before.
Okay. All right. I gotta look into it because it's really busting my pockets. And I don't watch TV like I used to. None of us do.
No.
Yeah.
And you know what, Dave? For the next 4 months, I got to pay an additional, $40 for NBA League Pass. But by the end of January, that's my last payment. Then I'm back to $150, $160.
All right.
So I'm telling you guys, I was getting raped.
Oh,
Respect
yeah,
them. I hope
yeah,
they watch the show.
I'm sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the scary thing, guys, about where I am at,
Right.
there was no competition.
Right.
It was
right.
them or
So
you just
nothing.
gonna stream. You're gonna stream
Exactly.
everything.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
I said, oh shit, let me
Yeah.
try this. And you know what, guys? Best thing I ever did.
All
I
right.
hear you.
Serious.
Wow. Let's get into this next topic, guys. Shall we? David?
Yeah.
I thought about you during this one. Is there any truth to this
Well, you know what? You know what?
Oh,
Everything is a rumor until it happens.
exactly.
So
Now,
I'm not going to put too much stock into it. You know, now if they're really at the negotiating table, I don't know how I feel about it though.
okay.
You know, I mean, I like Vlad, but I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about it, honestly. I kind of like what we have. If we can keep them, to be honest.
Well, this comes from the catcher Alvarez, who had taken a selfie.
Okay.
With Vlad. Yeah, with Vlad, and
Uh-huh.
since the Mets signed Soto, he included the tag Soto. And it was like kind of like the three of us on the same squad, kind of
Okay.
spurred this moment.
I like Francisco Alvarez. He's very young. Slow your roll. You know, just call a great game and let the suits handle you know that aspect of it.
Right.
That's really what happens.
Yeah. I didn't even hear this, guys. I never even heard this rumor.
I didn't hear that. I heard you know, rumor every time you know, with the internet, there's all these different posts that they Mets looking or Yankees looking at, and they're totally made up, but they're clickbait on a lot of these things. So again, I don't put a lot of stock into it, but I didn't know the part about Alvarez. Again, chill. Just chill. You know, stay healthy.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah,
Well,
stay in your lane.
I'll just say this real quick before we move on. I'll just say this. Steve Cohen is the richest baseball owner in baseball. There's no question about it. With that being said, this guy, Guerrero Jr., is going to be the top. If they don't re-sign him in Toronto, he's going to be the top free agent of 2025. So with that being said, are the deep pocket, if he actually hits the market, I don't know. I don't think it would be out of character for Cohen to try to.
You know what? I'll just leave it with this. And I see Dom yawning, and I'm feeling. I'll leave it like this. Okay, the Soto move was important for the reasons why I said earlier. But that doesn't mean that you now have to go out there because you have all this money and get everybody, because that's when you get into the territory that Dom and Bishop were talking about last week, where no matter who you get, ultimately winning is the reason why you're doing this. And so if you I felt that the Soto move was important because it gave some legitimacy to this new era of New York Mets baseball, and people throughout the league are now looking at the Mets as a viable option. Lesser named free agents, because sometimes you don't need a whole all-star team. You know, but I think people are looking at it as, you know what, they got something going pretty good over there out in Flushing. You know, I want to be a part of that, but I don't want them to get into that place of, well, let's just spend because we have the riches. You know, we have all the gold in the world, and let's just buy up everything, because you know, that really doesn't mean anything once you get between those lines and you have to play the game. If they're not successful, then you're going to create an environment where there's going to be a lot of dissension, and I think fans are happy at this point. I don't think that they need to overkill. Now if we're talking about pitching, you know, or filling some needs that really, then I'd say yeah. They still have a corner outfield situation that is not the strongest. They're pretty good up the middle, but I think pitching definitely now. Let's focus on that. Resign Alonso and get some pitching. Vlad is nice, but I don't think at what the price tag that he's going to demand.
Of course,
I think all of us are old enough not to be prisoners of the moment.
Yeah,
but again, we're old enough to have a decent memory, and our memory only got to go back to the year before this year in baseball, when the Mets and the Dodgers had the top payrolls in baseball and never got out the first round.
Right.
Yeah.
It can happen, guys. No matter how much money you spend. It's funny because they come back, they get Ohtani, and they hit pay dirt this year. It's sort of like what I keep saying about the Celtics. They've been winning the championship for 6 years.
Right.
Okay, they hit pay dirt last year. Well, the good thing is they stuck to their guns. They didn't go out and try to get Dave or Dominic to add to their team, blow out the salary cap, play $1 million in fees. They stuck to their guns. But again, guys, they've been winning the championship for 6 years.
Yeah.
Just like the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been winning the championship every year, before the bubble, after the bubble.
Yeah.
And they spent the most money under the sun. And here are the Mets chasing them dollar for dollar.
Yeah.
And last year, guys, was the biggest wake-up call in baseball history. All the teams that won 100 games never got out the first round. The teams with the highest payroll went home the earliest.
Yeah.
That was a wake-up to me. And again, at that time, I started thinking about the guy we was talking about earlier, Scott Boras.
Yeah.
This is what you get. You can spend $150 million.
Yeah.
It ain't guaranteeing you nothing. Not a damn thing.
No.
So, I think, I'll be honest, guys. I think he's a good ball player. He's nowhere in the stratosphere of a Mookie Betts, a Soto, a Judge, Ohtani. No, he's nowhere in that stratosphere.
No, he's not a game changer like that.
Yeah, no. Let's pump the brakes. The guy's a little on the heavyweight side.
Well, he is. Do you guys remember when the Mets were going after his father?
Yeah.
And then the whole, again, speaking of the narrative, they were talking about his back. His back is bad. I don't know. We don't want to spend all that money. He goes out to the Angels and he's fine.
Yeah.
So he's the one that I wanted. Vlad Jr. It's nice, but I wanted.
You want to see
in the day. I mean, the arm on that.
Yeah. Oh my God! Forget about it.
He was
incredible.
Maybe I'm into aesthetics more than I think I am. But he to me, just me, guys. I mean, it sort of reminds me when you talk about his dad, Andre Dawson.
Yeah.
Remember when nobody wanted Andre Dawson? He bet on himself. Right. He went to the Cubs for a minute and became a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and from the same Expos organization.
Exactly.
And what did he say? Moving to grass from that artificial turf.
Right.
He was the one that woke people up to that shit, Dave. Remember?
Yes,
I don't need to be playing on this. Nobody, because I think people didn't realize. I remember the first time I ever went to the vet.
Yeah. I know what you
remember when they had before they went to the next turf.
Yes,
it was Astro turf.
Yeah.
We got there early, and they let us get on the field. And I'm listening to all the stories. And guess what, guys? I'm thinking of Andre Dawson.
Yeah.
And I'm pounding the turf.
Yes.
And it's like I feel cement.
Yep.
I'm like, this can't be.
I knew.
And somebody looked at me. I don't know if it was a groundskeeper. He was in a regular. He wasn't in no baseball uniform. He looked at me and said, "Shh."
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah.
But you know what? For shits and giggles, guys, I started stepping on the grass real hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this shit feels like cement. And that's what Andre Dawson was trying to say. And it ruined.
Yeah.
The only people that didn't ruin was the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah.
They knew they just was into, I'm going to hit the ball, I'm going to run as fast as I can until they throw me out. And they survived it, but not many other people did. Guys, Joe, remember, baseball, football.
Yeah.
The injuries that were incurred on that artificial turf. Then they try to make us again like we're in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not artificial turf, Dave. It's next turf. What the hell is next turf?
Yeah.
Is it grass? No. So shut up.
It's artificial turf. That's it.
Exactly.
If it's not real, it's artificial. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's manufactured. But you're absolutely right. They would lay. It was just like if you went to Home Depot and bought it off the wheel and laid it on your driveway or your patio. That's really what they were playing on.
Exactly. But I'll tell you,
remember
what was strange, Dave, even with that scenario, again, my stepdad laid carpet in New York for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him telling me, like, especially the rich people, because he used to do a lot of the work in Manhattan with the union and all the penthouses. And he was like, Dom, these sons of bitches, their pad is this thick. You know how you put the pad under your rug? He said their pads are like 8 inches, 8 to 10 inches. I'm like, that's like walking on. He said, yeah, exactly. It's like walking on a sponge.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, this pad ain't no 8 inches.
No, it was paper thin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it killed a lot of. And guess what? Andre Dawson went and played on that real turf in Chicago, and
that's right.
Became a Hall of Famer.
That's right. They might as well have painted the cement green.
Yeah.
Really
left it like that.
Yeah.
Right. Like remember when we played softball?
Yeah.
And we played softball on the concrete.
On asphalt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we played it on regular blacktop and asphalt.
Yeah, in schoolyard. That's
we didn't play softball on dirt. We played that shit on concrete.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you know what? My high school, after I left Lehman High School, I went back years later.
Yeah.
Them clowns went from grass to artificial turf. High school.
Like, yeah. So you hit your head on that.
Yeah. Die for a ball on that.
Not gonna happen. Let's do some moving on, shall we? Let's go through the lane of the NFL. And here we go. Dude.
Our favorite quarterback.
Yeah.
Bro. They're not gonna get me back. I don't care if they even win.
Wow.
I'm not going back.
I like this guy. I always said it.
I'm not going back there. Dom, you are big on this guy. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. I'm not doing that. Yeah, Wow is right. Yeah, he's putting up phenomenal numbers. Yeah, I seen a few of the games on Sunday, and I'm like, okay, yeah, he looks impressive. Okay, he's a gunslinger, as Dom likes to normally say and whatnot. But I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced. And
so what do you have to do to get you back?
Yeah. What do you got to do to convince you? Win MVP,
I don't know. You know what?
Win the Super Bowl.
Maybe win a Super Bowl. I want to see him.
And I say this though.
Hold on.
I'll let you go.
Hold on.
If he was in the NFC, he'd be in the Super Bowl.
If he was in the NFC, he probably okay.
He'd be in the Super Bowl every year.
Okay, granted. That okay. However, I still need to see him clutch. And as crazy as that sounds, I want to see him under the most intense pressure, intense situations. That's what I want to see. I'm sorry. All what he's been doing the past 2, 3, 4 games. Yeah, it's impressive. It's cute, all that stuff. But again, I need to see him under immense pressure to see. Then I will be convinced.
Let me ask you a question, R. What's the standard then? Is the standard Lamar Jackson? I think a 2-time MVP. I'm pretty sure Josh Allen's gotten further than him in the playoffs. What's your standard for?
Well, my standard.
It can't be Mahomes. We can't do that one. I mean,
why not?
What's the standard? Because this guy's like, there's a standard. Like again, you got years Lamar Jackson won MVP, but Mahomes won the Super Bowl. You got years Lamar Jackson won MVP, and Mahomes knocked him out the playoffs. So we can't use Mahomes as like, okay, you got to get here. That might never happen. But
I wasn't going to use Mahomes again. Listen, like
what's
I said,
your standard for him?
I need to see him be that guy. And when I say that, I'm talking about listen, all the physical skills, I get it, and the talent, all that. Yeah, you're having a nice little run this year. understandable. So far in the regular season, I think he only has like 6 interceptions, which is remarkable. Remarkable.
Right.
Gunslinger-ish.
But again, before that, every year he was leading the league with interceptions. I need to see completion of a season. I need to see in the postseason. That's why. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll give it up. I'm a fan.
No.
Not saying no. When I say I'm a fan, I'm talking about I'm a fan.
I know what you're saying. I feel like you're never going to see it because you're always going to look for the flaws
or the net. You're looking for the net.
Can you blame him? But can you blame him?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But you didn't like him when he was your quarterback, and then you dropped him. And I don't know.
Drop him like a sack of potatoes. You damn right.
Yeah. So let's say he leads them to a championship.
Ooh. Could be this year.
Yeah. Then would you turn the page on him? I mean, would you sort of like would you be a fan or
no? I'm just gonna leave him alone.
You're just gonna leave.
Bad about
okay.
I'll give him his flowers.
Bad about him. Are you gonna give him his flowers, or are you just gonna not say anything bad about him going forward?
Both.
Okay.
I got to admit, man, though I like this kid and I've been pulling for him, I don't think I've seen no shit like this in a while. This kid, nobody in NFL history has ever thrown for 3 touchdowns and ran for 3 touchdowns in a game. This kid is doing stuff that's we all knew he had the arm. Yeah, he just was.
Yeah.
He was like Brett Favre on steroids. Even Brett Favre, who was a gunslinger at best when he was in his prime, Brett knew when to say when. Josh Allen didn't know when to say when. Josh Allen was like, I'm going to get that ball today. I don't care. 5 people are checking him.
Josh Allen said, okay, reloading.
Yeah. like a video game.
Yep, exactly.
But you know what, guys? After all of that and all them lessons, I'm telling you guys, if Lamar Jackson could win an MVP and be nowhere near these numbers, something got to be said, guys. Come on, man.
He's nowhere near the numbers, but he's definitely right there in the running for it as well.
If he don't win it, Barkley better win it.
Yeah.
And I know that's a stretch because I think we haven't had a running back win it since Adrian Peterson. I forgot what year it was, but I think Peterson was the last running back to win an MVP.
Right.
If Saquon if him or Saquon don't get it, I'm done. I mean, I'm not a big football fan to begin with.
Right.
Come on, guys. Whether we like him or not, this guy is putting up some.
Yeah.
Like Dave says.
Again, I'll give it to him. And that game, the 3 touchdowns and passing and 3 rushing, was it him? I'm going there. Was it him? Or was it the lack of defense against the team he played?
I don't give a damn if he was playing a PAL team. That shit's never happened before.
Yeah, he was playing against an NFL team.
Right.
I mean, because if
that's our NFL team.
Right. And you good. Not right there, Jay. That's a good example. The Jets are an NFL team, and no quarterback has ran for 3 touchdowns and thrown for 3 touchdowns against them.
No.
So, I mean, we can't go by the opponent. I mean, like Dave said, they're all NFL teams. And come on, man.
Hey, when
he did that shit, when he did that, I was like, I'm done. Damn R with his fickle, I don't like this and I don't like that. This shit is incredible. And everybody's watching it because it was prime time.
Right.
It wasn't like you had to watch it on Red Zone.
Right.
No.
Right.
Get this shit on prime time. Everybody's watching and I'm sorry, not this year. Whatever you've said in the past, I agree with you. I admitted the kid was a gunslinger. He did it too many times. And you know what? Who's his best wide receiver?
Shakir.
I'll wait. Yeah.
Shakir.
I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly. I
bet you. Yeah, I'll wait. Shit.
Right.
You got guys like, I don't know how to say his name, so I'll just call him Tua.
Yeah.
Tua. What's his name for the Lions? Goff.
Goff,
yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Look at their receivers compared to what Josh Allen has.
Yeah.
Right.
That means these guys should be putting up video game numbers. And their defense on their team is probably a little better than Buffalo. Buffalo's defense has been sort of like if we just get him the ball back. That's like their mentality. Get the ball back to Josh. And hopefully we can hold him to a 3-and-out or a 6-and-out and let Josh do what Josh do. But you look at what's around him, guys, and what he's doing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. This shit is something special.
I hear you, but again, I'm gonna hold my ground. I'm holding my ground.
All right.
I'm holding my ground. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So from
I give it to you, but it don't fly this year, brother. Sorry. It don't fly this year. I'm sorry.
Okay. I hear you, bro. So from that to this guy.
Oh.
The New York
God, no. I should go.
I read that article. Oh.
No problem. Did you read the article I sent you?
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah.
I read it.
Was that ridiculous?
All right.
I can't even believe it.
Before Dom goes in, let me just say this. Okay. Before we get to the ridiculousness of it, I will say that a lot of video games, sports video gaming has come a long way as far as realism. And I can get the picture of the kids, these teenagers saying, "Look, Dad, on Madden, such and such." But we're not talking about a video game.
Right.
We're talking about an NFL franchise. And if that is where your analytics comes from, and you actually make a decision, I mean, I have a hard time believing it's true because it's just so ridiculous. But with the Jets, I don't know. It could be true that if he really did take the consideration and make a decision based on two teenagers playing a video game and what they had to say about a player, that's kind of scary. That's when they start taking grandpa to the retirement home, and going to see him on Sundays. We're going to see him there and not that because that's a lot of money that you have tied up in an NFL franchise. And if you're basing your decisions on the opinions of two teenage video gamers, that scares me. And if I were working for him in that organization, and having to compete with that would be a problem for me. And then in that article, they talked about the what happened with the game ball and all that. I mean, the whole thing sounded like a crap fest. Like what is going on in there? I'm a Jets fan, but this has been. Look, teams have bad years, and Jets have bad decades. But if the off the field stuff, you can't have that kind of like this is a circus.
Yeah,
that was, I hadn't heard about it. I read the article, and if it is true, that does not leave me with a whole lot of confidence.
Understandable. Dom, go ahead, brother.
I thought it was a joke, but all day long on Sirius XM, they went from one extreme to another till they started having a contest. Worst owner in sports. Show me an owner worse than Woody Johnson. And somebody said, "Well, what about Dolan?" Well, Dolan has flipped.
Yeah,
in the last 5 years, the Knicks have at least been competitive.
Right.
Yeah.
And when's the last time the Jets have been competitive, guys? I mean, I'm a Jets fan, like Dave. Yeah. This was so embarrassing. I'm serious, guys. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
His son said that his Madden number was And I'm like, who's his son? And as I'm saying this to myself, his son's just a teenager. I'm like, oh, stop. It's getting worse as I'm driving.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I don't know what to say with the Jets. Are they one of the worst run organizations in sports? Probably. Well, I when they was doing the contest on the radio, guys, I'm sitting there thinking, who's worse?
Yeah.
I couldn't find an answer, fellas. I'm like,
you can't say Donald Sterling because he's no longer in the league.
Gone. He's gone. Right. And even when he was an asshole, the Clippers had some good years.
Right.
True that.
And let's not forget, somebody illegally tapped his phone. Nobody illegally did shit to Woody Johnson. It's just like you didn't even want to believe some of these stories.
Right.
Somebody hacked his son's PlayStation.
Yeah. No. It was. It's weird because you know what, guys? If y'all remember The Athletic, who actually I think leaked.
Yeah.
When we first heard of The Athletic, we was like, really?
Yeah.
Because at one time it was based toward Dave, the athlete, telling his story. There's no more middleman. Dave's going to come to Dom. We're going to let him basically narrate his whole narrative.
Okay.
And everybody took it as a joke, It's just like TMZ and Inc.
Right.
Now you look at TMZ, and TMZ's dropping more dimes than all these major networks.
Exactly.
Right.
And so is The Athletic.
It's true. Nowadays, with TMZ, to your point, it's like, well, it's got to be true. I heard it on TMZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be the
Before
truth.
You shook your head, TMZ. Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, exactly. Now it's being taken as a credible source.
I mean, it's like it's like going up there and saying, well, the National Enquirer said.
No.
So,
imagine
he got to go, guys. I mean, honestly, I'm a Jets and a Knicks fan. We know that, right?
Yeah. Right, of course.
And
of course.
I think he's like quadruple dope.
Well, any guy, any father that names his son one of his teenage sons Brick. I was like, okay, this guy, he is horrible. It starts with him.
Without a doubt.
Before I used to blame Joe Namath. Now I changed my mind.
No, stop. This guy's loud.
Yeah.
Remember, hopefully, no shade, not to get into politics. Hopefully Trump gives him another job to be an ambassador on the fucking moon somewhere. Just get him away from the team.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And like we talked about Dolan. Once Dolan stepped away, as far as being so outspoken and in the front and let basketball people,
and in Dolan's case, I don't want to say defense, forgive me, but in Dolan's defense compared to Johnson's defense, Dolan just hired the wrong people.
Yeah.
Everybody he hired actually put more nails in our coffin than took the nails out, from Don Nelson to Phil Jackson to the Jackson 5 coaches in 6 years. And we're still paying coaches that haven't coached in 6 years on the Knicks. Derek Fisher, Fizdale. We're still paying these clowns. Wow. Yeah. So in that case, I think, but this dude, guys, right now, again, all the stories I heard, now it's to the point where when Dave interviews, Dave's a head coach, if Dave gets selected to interview, it's like Dave's got to do the interview. Dave's got to be answering the organization questions.
Right.
Can y'all do? Will y'all do? It ain't no more like, you remember how it was? They would ask the coach and he had to go through this litany of interviews. And it's like they're saying the coach is going to have to interview management.
Yeah.
Right. What?
Yeah,
and you know who's on the list? He's a hell of a coach too, man. Mike Vrabel. Right now, he's rumored to. But again, guys, who wants that job?
I was just about to say. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wants it? Yeah.
That's where they were saying. I don't believe a lot of stuff I hear in the media. But when I heard that, I was like, hey, let's say Mike Vrabel gets selected. And he does what they're saying. He goes and asks R and Dave the questions. Damn this shit y'all interviewing me. Y'all know me. Y'all know what I have done. What have y'all done? What are y'all going to do?
Right.
It's spooky, guys. The
It's
Jets
insane.
are in a no man's land. Ooh.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense, man. So.
I'm telling you guys, think about it and text me in the morning. Who do you think is the worst owner?
I need a night. I need a night.
Maybe the guy that owned the Oakland A's. I forgot his name.
Oh,
maybe him.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's pretty bad.
You know what I mean? For sure.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, let's get to our basketball segment here.
The All-Star.
Yeah.
Dave, thank you for putting me up on this, by the way. Yeah. This, and you know what? As Dom likes to call him, Commissioner Bobblehead.
Yeah.
Adam. Yeah. This.
Oh.
Adam Silver. I don't know. I don't know. In an effort to try to kind of reinvigorate
the
All-Star game
again.
Right. Again. This to me, and as you heard the groans by Dom and also David, this to me seems like a swing and a miss. And there's been various NBA stars that are highly critical of this format.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, why? What was listen, haven't been a big fan of watching the NBA All-Star game in recent years. And when I say that, I'm talking about double digit.
Oh, right. Same here.
Okay, I've never really been a fan. The highlight for me has always been the weekend activities before the actual game itself. But your attempts, and again, it's not it. It's not it.
Yeah. So I tried to see what it was that they were proposing. I couldn't get past tournament.
Right.
Because, didn't we just finish one?
We just did, exactly.
The Sippy Cup tournament is done. And then they're talking about the All-Star game and picking these 3 teams plus the 4th one from the Rising Stars thing. I mean, it's just, again, I'm tired of the gimmicky stuff.
Yes. Yeah, very good.
What happened? Yeah, I mean, back when we always resort to this because this is what we know. But back in the day, first of all, I think the problem that not just the NBA, but sports in general has is, we love the accessibility. And Dom, you talked about the sports packages and getting to see everything. Well, but one of the things that was so exciting or interesting when we were younger was that you didn't get to see these guys too often. So when you got an opportunity to see, whether it was Dr. J and it was Magic and it was Bird and Unit Gervin and all of these people, you got them all on the court together, because you wouldn't see that ordinarily. Back then, these guys didn't play in the Olympics. They didn't have all these other exhibitions and these summer, whether it's the Rucker in New York or the Drew League, but these guys now, they play with each other so much that a lot of the luster or the fascination of getting to see these guys on the court all together is kind of not there anymore. And so the All-Star game, to me, was nothing that I couldn't see anyway in another format. And so that's where it lost interest for me. And so now that's why I say now, just like, baseball, they're trying to gravitate towards these younger fans and the gimmicks and holding interest and stuff like that. Good basketball should be good enough.
But there's a but, guys, and I want y'all to stay with me and don't get mad at me.
No. Go ahead, bro.
Every one of these players that are complaining about the format every other year, guess who they're not blaming? Themselves. Y'all are the reason. Y'all are the reason we're doing all these gimmicks. Because y'all want to go out there, play Skip to the Lou, My Darling, Everybody running up and down the court like it's a game in the housing area.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't playing basketball, but y'all ain't blaming yourselves. You're sitting there saying, and y'all know I'm not a fan of his because everything he does basically has backfired. But in this case, all of these guys, LeBron, Durant, Anthony Davis, all of these guys running their mouth. The one thing they didn't say is, why don't we do better?
Right.
Say what you want. I can understand football. The season's over. We don't need nobody getting hurt. I get that one.
Right.
Baseball, they still go out there and play baseball, guys. There's still a pitcher throwing strikes, throwing fastballs. There's still somebody trying to hit the ball 360 feet. And some of the games in the Major League Baseball All-Star game were 2-3 run games.
Yeah.
But the NBA, who lives on this pedestal of it's our game, stars run the league, all this bullshit that we put on them and they put on themselves with this holier than thou bullshit. You know what, Commissioner? Don't have an all-star game.
Just have
guess what? Nobody gets selected no more.
Yeah.
Nobody gets the incentive money for being an all-star. Why should we be giving you incentive money to make the all-star team and then you do this shit?
Right.
Get out of here. And you know what else I heard today? What was weird? And think about this, guys. I don't know why ESPN and everybody got this asphyxiation now that TNT is going out of business, that we got to drag that shit show of TNT, that we got to drag that over to ESPN so we can see more garbage. Somebody mentioned this today. What does TNT do mostly? Badmouth the players, badmouth the game, pick on this, what are they doing to uplift the NBA? Then you wonder why your ratings are down. Your ratings ain't just down because of the three-point shot. Your ratings are down because of some of the shit that you hired people to do are throwing your league under the bus.
Yeah, I'm not going to debate with that. You know, I will say also that the problem that I see with the NBA, even more than the other leagues, NFL and MLB, is that the NBA, at some point, they became more about entertainment than they were about sports.
Well, first of all, Dave, what did they become more of before entertainment? They became more of my brand. My brand was more important to me than anything else than the team, the league, Dave, Donovan. It's my brand.
Well,
so I got to represent my brand, not the Knicks, my brand.
Right, because the game itself became just another vehicle to promote their brands. Right. And so the entertainment aspect of it, entertainment is constantly evolving because there are always new forms of entertainment. The kids today have a lot more things to entertain them than we did when we were younger, as far as the social media and all the other stuff, good or bad of it. Because I like the time that we came up in because we actually went out and did things. You know, but now if you have a product that is based on entertainment, then you've got to move with the times, and the game sometimes becomes secondary to me, and you know there's so many other ways. If you have a basketball fixation, there's so many other ways that you can get that satisfied without the NBA. And so the NBA has to promote and rebrand themselves every few years because everything is changing so quickly. So I think that's one of the areas that the NBA is suffering from, where they were at one point the leading sport as far as drawing people. You know, even though football and baseball might have the numbers, I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm talking about just that interest from the casual fan. You know, I think that's they were leading in that area, but now they're falling behind other things, not just sports, but in other entertainment formats for people to. And it's very expensive. Did you guys see where the Phoenix Suns? I just saw this morning that the owner of the Phoenix Suns, he dropped all the concession prices. It's like hot dogs that were like $9, they're like $2 because he realized a family of four, would spend almost $100.
$100, that's cheap.
That's cheap. Hot dog and drink, hot dog, one drink, and so forth. So he dropped it to where that same family of four now is paying $24.
Right. Good.
And here's the catch, guy. What incentive? Right now, we could talk ratings when it comes to the NBA and ratings being down. You think the NBA is going to give two shits about ratings next year when they already bankrolled $11 billion from Amazon, $2.4 billion from Peacock, who don't run on entertainment, they don't run on commercials, they run on subscriptions. So Amazon got paid, the NBA is going to get paid. So how is this making the game better?
Yeah. Amazon's workers didn't get paid. You see,
no shit. $11 billion, guys.
Yeah, that's crazy money.
So where does the and guess what? Part of that because of the CBA.
Yeah.
Part of that revenue goes where? To the players. CBA is going to go up. The contracts are going to go up, and we're going to still get this. Like Dave, you brought up a good point. When we were kids, Dr. J played in the All-Star game. Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Kareem, Wilt, West,
and it was competitive.
And they played basketball. Exactly. They didn't go out there and say, "Hola."
Yeah. You know what?
Now, guys, now that they got all this money is already in the NBA bank with these new TV deals, which aren't TV deals, guys, except for a handful of games on NBC.
That's about it.
A handful of games on ABC. The rest of it's streaming.
Yeah. Right.
You got to be able to stream Peacock, Amazon, whatever they call it, Prime.
Yeah. Prime.
So guess what? Everybody got paid already. So the incentive, it's like going to work, guys. If you don't do good, you don't get a good rating. You might not get a raise. You might not get a bonus. They don't think of that. They don't have to think like that. We got paid.
They're already prepaid.
Yeah, they got paid, guys.
It's funny because you were mentioning about how long it's been. The last All-Star game I really remember, and it being a really memorable one, was that year when Marbury and Iverson
went crazy.
That one right there, that one sticks with me. Like whenever somebody posts clips from that, I always watch it. Because they were really they were going at it mano a mano, and it was like
they were.
It no longer felt like an all-star game. It felt like they were playing
ball.
Yeah. So that's
you're right, Dave. Was that even in the 2000s?
I think that was. I think that was early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what? Me and my buddy Steve Azul from the Bleed Blue Show. We be scratching our head. When's the last time I watched an All-Star game?
Yeah.
That's how long it's been for me, guys. I cannot watch the All-Star game, and I won't watch it. I'm not putting my TV. Nope. I'm not giving them a dime of my rating. No, I ain't watching that garbage. But again, guys, all the complaining about all the dog and pony shows, these players ain't blaming themselves.
No,
you're the reason we're doing it.
Exactly.
They never will. But you know,
and you know what? Another thing, guys, it's gotten so out of control that nobody except maybe us even knows or gives two shits about this. You got to play 64, 65 games to be eligible for an award. They don't care.
No.
How can you possibly care when I'm getting $40 to $50 million a year?
Right.
You can't take that from me. Okay, I don't win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, because you know what? Back in the days when the plumbers and the electricians played, you know, that bonus meant something. That bonus meant something. You know, I remember. You guys remember the All-Star game? It used to come on in the afternoon, a Sunday afternoon.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I remember being out the All-Star game
went off before midnight.
It was long before it. The sun was still out,
and we played ball.
Yep, that's right. Same thing with the Super Bowl. I remember Super Bowl being in like the daytime, and you know, going outside afterwards and talking about it with my friends.
And here's another thing with the NBA, Dave. That's another great point. You want everything geared around prime time.
Yeah.
And you're spending a bundle of money with these commercials and these and ain't nobody watching. I think they said today that viewership is down 48%. And now it's to the point where not long ago people were complaining about too many 3-point shots. It's kind of sort of ruining the game because everybody just wants to come down and jack up 3. Don't talk to me like I'm in kindergarten. I know 3 is bigger than 2, but you can't tell me 3 is more effective than 2.
Right.
I'll let that go. But the viewership, they was blaming that. Now it's like, first of all, you don't know who's playing.
Yeah.
And speaking of the plumbers and the electricians, wasn't J.J. Redick just 2 minutes ago the new Marlon the Magician? And now all of a sudden, LeBron needs shooting. Dave needs, now he's a coach. Now you're just a regular dude.
Right.
He had his finger on the post. No, he
that
didn't.
shine wore off real quick.
Yeah, like in 20 games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
First of all, it was, I don't know if y'all been watching this kid Connect.
Yeah.
Great second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
That was another thing. Lakers are playing ball. This guy's going to be the next Klay Thompson, second round pick. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden they lose a few games. LeBron needs this. LeBron needs that. J.J. Redick got gray hair. He's no longer Marlon the Magician, and we just can't say, especially with the NBA guys. That's what aggravates me. We just can't say they're not that good.
You know what's so funny though, Dom? I went to high school in LA, and so I have a lot of friends on my timeline from LA, and so I get all the Laker fans, the Dodger fans. They can't stand the Lakers right now. They are so angry with that. It's like crazy. The posters they're putting up, and I'm observer from the East Coast, but it's because we got our own problems, But oh my gosh, that shine wore off.
Quick
out there in LA.
I will say this, since we're talking NBA. I used to always kind of giggle at Brian Windhorst because everybody thought he was just like the LeBron chaser.
Yeah.
But the more I hear this guy talk, he is pretty knowledgeable. He was dropping some gems on NBA radio.
Really?
Here's the thing. He almost let the cat out the bag, like you were saying earlier, Dave, with the rumors.
Yeah.
He said, well, I don't really think we have to buy it. Because y'all heard me talk about this during the trade deadline, all that smoke, no fire, blah, blah. He actually let the cat out the bag this year. He was like, people, I'm not going to talk about the past, but people that think all of this stuff is going to happen on these trade deadlines, that's over. He didn't even say it's over this year.
Yeah.
He's like, that's over. With the new CBA and the new dollar for dollar, them days are over. Yes, Chicago would love to get rid of Zach LaVine and probably help him move on to a better position.
Yeah.
But because of his contract, and he said it was so funny because it was almost like, hey, Dave, hey, let me just tell you all the truth so you don't. If you're one of those guys that get excited during the trade, let me take the wind out your sails now.
Right. He's like,
listening to him saying, this is weird, but this is what they wanted. This is part of that new CBA. As long as Dave got his, he didn't give a shit about what's down the line with all of this.
Right.
Zach LaVine makes a ton of money, guys. I would love to see him go to a better team, and because I always liked him. He's a hell of a ball player.
Yeah, he
but
is.
According to Windhorst, them days are over.
Yeah.
Them days are OVA. And we're going to sit back and we're going to listen to ESPN. And now it ain't, just this new Shams guy.
Yes.
We're going to hear all of these rumors. And then come trade deadline, I'm going to think about Brian Windhorst and say, I'm glad I never fed into that shit.
Right.
But he was like, y'all had to hear this guy. I thought he was just a LeBron chaser. But the more I listen to him talk, plus he's not the proverbial Ryan Clark, Perkins, who are just there for, I'm going to throw some stuff out there. I'm going to look like I know. I'm just going to get so controversial and just. But when you hear Windhorst talk, he's actually dropping some gems. And guess what? The trade deadline is going to be here sooner enough. Here's another strange thing. They got this $500,000 thing. I didn't catch the whole thing, guys, but it's weird. Like each trade has to have this $500,000 escrow or some shit. Like, okay, the Lakers got, not the Lakers. Who got Ricky Schroeder? Not Ricky Schroeder. You know I'm talking about Schroeder. Golden State. Golden State got Golden State. So they had to fork over $300,000 of that $500,000 escrow. So they got $200,000 still in the bank, but they had to fork over $300,000. And I'm trying to keep up with this. Again, Windhurst was telling these stories, and he was like, not many teams are going to be able to do that. Again, the days of the Golden State Warriors paying $100, $200, $300 million into the tax. You can still do it, but there's so many limitations now with this new CBA that I guess what he was trying to say, guys, is whatever team you have on the court in October, the likelihood of you having that same team on the court in April is probably really good.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. I wondered before I lose the point though, Dom. You brought up about people like Kendrick Perkins and some of these others, and you know what it made me think about? Journalists today are very much like, and I call them journalists because I don't have another word for them, but they are very much like a lot of the basketball players, not just NBA, but just coming along, because the comparison is that we talked about it before. These kids that play basketball and they're doing all these crossovers and they show off their handles and all that. The finish isn't really important. It's secondary to the flash. And so they're very flashy. So it's the same thing with these journalists where they have the flashiness of the story. And whether it lands, whether it sticks or not, it's secondary. It's a talking point because tomorrow they'll talk about something else. So they can go in there and they can throw out rumors and they can say, I heard from this one that this one is unhappy and so and so. And what it does is it creates dialogue. But at the end, when it doesn't materialize, nothing ever happens. We're not looking back on them and say, but you didn't finish. No, you crossed them over on TV, but you didn't finish. Nobody cares.
Right.
We're more into shock now, Dave, because you'll hear somebody. Absolutely. You'll hear somebody that, again, like a Ryan Clark.
Yeah.
Oh, he checked Stephen A on first take.
Oh yeah.
We're talking TV, man.
Exactly.
Who's he checking? You're throwing shit on the wall. Again, we're more into shock, especially when it comes to media, whether it's sports or MSNBC, Fox, whoever it is. We're more into shock therapy than we are in just telling the story. I mean, it's sad, but and to be honest, guys, like people will blame Steph Curry for the threes. This shock jock media and sports, we got to put a lot of that onus on Stephen A.
Yes, sir.
Skip Bayless.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Created this shit, man.
Yeah.
Y'all remember, it was fun. It was fun when it was called, what was it, Pizza?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when they had the old guy on it? I forgot his name. He still does the other show. But then it went from that to First Take, and it just went totally bonkers. And guess what, guys? Everybody tried to copy it.
Well, that's exactly. Well, it's like everything else. They take a formula. Everybody says, "Well, now you get these copycats." I mean, you remember? Dom, you were probably in the military during the time, but New York went through a whole thing with radio DJs. And they had, you remember our Star and Buck Wild?
Oh,
and so everybody had, again, there's that word, gimmick. And so so look what they're doing over there at Hot 97. We're going to, take it down to Power 105. We're going to have our own version of that. And this is what it's come to. Journalism is dead in the regard. So
it's been dead. It's been dead. It's been dead. You know what I'm saying? And let me just add this about in regards to the NBA All-Star. They just like you said, Dave. Just knock it off. Just stop. No, seriously, just have the weekend.
Yeah.
Have the weekend and don't have the games. That's it.
Yeah. They make it one big pageant. They can go out there. And they can do the 3-pointer, they can do the skills contest, they can do the dunk contest, which in itself, luster has come off of that too, because you can turn on YouTube and see guys doing insane dunks all the time. So yeah, but make it just a nice, the city still benefits because you have all the money and people coming in there and you do that, but nobody cares about the game.
No. It was called Cold Pizza.
Cold Pizza, yeah.
Before first take.
Yeah, I was like pizza in the morning.
And you know what else we're missing? You guys remember the sports reporters?
Yes.
With Dick Schaff and all the reporters. And my man that died early. I forgot his name. The black dude that wrote the book Best Seat in the House with Spike Lee.
Oh,
he died real young. A great writer.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Remember that show where these guys actually sat down? Mitch Albom.
Mitch Albom, yeah. Do you remember the show? What was the guy that used to come on Fox? It was like Sunday night. It was like late night sports talk.
Kurt Menefee?
No, not Kurt Menefee. It was another guy. He used to have. I could be on here all night and not think of his name, but he used to have a sports show that used to come on, like the news would come on, and the news would go off, and then afterwards this guy would come on and he'd have a half an hour show, and it was just.
I remember that show.
Ralph Wiley, Dave.
Ralph Wiley. Okay, I remember that guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was a hell of a. He wrote that book, Why Black Men Tend to Shout. That was like one of his first books.
Okay. Yeah.
Then he did the book with Spike, Best Seat in the House, and and you know what? Those were the good old days. You'd have these guys. Again, Dave, using the word lightly, journalists. Yeah. These guys were real journalists.
Yeah.
Wrote about sports and get on TV once every Sunday for 30 minutes, shoot the breeze, talk sports, and you just felt the knowledge coming out their mouth. Like. First of all, we probably read some of their shit, like Mitch Albom, Dick Schaff, Peter Vesey. We heard and we seen these guys growing up. They were like, me and Peter Vesey are good friends. You know, he's airborne and all this good shit. But I remember those days when it seemed to be about the game. These guys just told a story. They were professionals and they told a story. No flame, no filter, no fluff. Just, hey, Dave, this is what really happened. Let's talk about it on Sunday at 11 o'clock.
Right.
That was it.
And you had some of the greatest writers in sports history.
I got it. You guys remember George Michael Sports Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just internet is great for that.
I hate to say this because we sound like old guys, get off my lawn, but
yeah,
man, when you think back of that, guys, I mean, again, every game was during the day.
Yeah,
we got hype. We'd watch a game. We'd go outside. I remember shoveling the basketball court.
Yeah,
just to play ball. Playing ball with gloves on.
Yeah.
Can't do that no more. I mean,
they don't know about that.
Midnight when the game goes on.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know about that.
Exactly.
Man, I don't know.
Let's
and this guy.
All right.
Prime time.
Exactly. It seems to be a fire sale that might be going on in New Orleans. Okay, the Pelicans. They're open to trading not just Brandon Ingram, but they're open to trading Zion Williamson.
Yeah. Good luck.
Possibly the biggest bust.
Okay. Thank you for saying that, Art. I was going to wait till you finish. I was going to ask you the question. Do we call Zion Williamson a bust, at least in New Orleans and all the hype that surrounds it?
Yes. Unequivocally, yes.
And do we have to keep pausing and say, because of injury? But again, to your little blue thing with the white letters, I just told you about what Windhurst said. I'd like to see y'all trade both them contracts at one time.
Yeah.
Who, first of all, who's biting? They just gave this guy a max extension.
They just
they would bite more for Brandon than Zion.
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
I would say so. I
got enough pieces, yeah. And I don't think his contract is as large as Zion's, but still, we got to do that dollar for dollar. I mean,
right.
You can't give me a player for $10 and I give you $2 back like the old days.
Right.
And I promise you something down the road. No, it's penny for penny.
Right.
So I don't know what his contract is, but again, guys, it's going to be hard. Where's he going, guys? If he's going to a competitor, hypothetically, that team will no longer be a competitor if they have to give up some of their competitive pieces that they have right now. I mean, so you're going to make Brandon Ingram twice over. You're going to take him from a team like the Lakers, ship him to New Orleans, and put him in purgatory. And now where are we going to send him? Detroit? I mean, think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard, guys. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't even want to look it up. I know this guy just got an extension, a max extension.
Who? Zion?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I know.
But if I'm not mistaken, the team has an opt-out clause. Almost like the NFL, where I can cut you when I want. And the Pelicans had some kind of get-out-of-jail-free card to get rid of him. But, again, I don't know if they could just cut him like the NFL. I think that's what they was hinting at. But then who's going to sign him, guys? Are you going to give him $40, $50 million?
No. Hell no. No.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting, thing you just said about who wants him, who's going to want him, and at that price. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's become ridiculous now.
So I guess it's safe to say that, and I would be in that group. Knicks fans have stopped dreaming about.
Yeah, that's been over. That's been over. They finally woke up.
You got that right.
Still a few.
You don't hear that chanting. We want Zion. We want Zion. You don't hear that.
You don't hear that one. Yeah.
Nah,
I just remember. You remember the draft, the night he was drafted, and it showed like the streets in New Orleans and the people were cheering. And
34 guys. Stay with me. This is millions. As of now, 36-7, 39-4, 42-1, 44-8 million per year. Zion Williamson.
Really?
Wow.
He caps out on his last year, which is 27-28, at $44,886,930. That's 23% of the Pelicans cap hit. So that means it'll be 23% of Dave's team's cap hit. That don't change. Those numbers don't change, guys.
Right.
That's a lot of money for a guy that's played 5 minutes in 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I saw more highlights of Zion Williams on YouTube when he was in high school than I have seen in the NBA.
Yeah.
And here's the fishy thing, guys. And I hate to say this as much as I didn't like this guy. He wasn't the top gem coming out of high school.
No.
The guy we got was the top gem going to college that year. R.J. Barrett.
The Maple Mamba.
The Maple Mamba. Now, Zion went to Duke and showed out and got drafted number 1. But again, that was probably, guys, I hate to say it, that was probably one of the weakest drafts in NBA history. You had Zion, you had Ja Morant, and then
then it just fell off. Yeah, it was like
who's next?
Boom. Yeah,
that was it.
And you know what? I hate to say, what did they say?
Cam Reddish in there or something?
Yeah, Cam Reddish was in there too. All 3 of them came off Duke.
Exactly.
Yeah, and believe me, I told y'all down here in the South, people were like, "How did R.J. Barrett go before Cam Reddish?" Because he was the more athletic. He was able, like Barrett could get to the basket, had an ugly shot, but Cam Reddish was that guy. You know, the defense, the long arms, the highly athletic, and they were like, "This dude went second." And I think Cam went like maybe 11th, 13th in that week draft. Yeah, in that week draft, he went like 11th. And people down in North Carolina was like, I'm pretty sure they're kind of quiet right now. I haven't heard Cam Reddish talking a long time because he really didn't pan out either.
Yeah.
So, nobody's going to take that contract.
No.
Really not. If he gets, I wonder, hate to keep looking things up, but I wonder if he gets released, like the NFL, we released you, Dave.
Yeah.
Then what does another team have to do to get him? Like, is it a bidding war, or does he forfeit that salary and he start from scratch? Because I think somebody said in all the years he's been in the NBA, he's played 24% of all the Pelicans games.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
It's a ridiculous number. It's a ridiculous.
At $40 million a year.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what's sad, guys? I hate to say this. He never looks like. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
But he never looks like he's in shape.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're almost waiting for him to fall and say, "Oh, there he goes again."
No,
I'm pretty sure he's in good shape, but he just looks like.
This has been a concern, Dom, for years.
I told you guys when he got drafted.
We mentioned
we were talking about the food. I said, shit, he's going to New Orleans.
He's going to New Orleans,
With all that good food.
He's been there twice.
That brother ain't losing no weight in New Orleans.
Guys, remember the fact that, listen, we talked about this previously on here and on In the Paint. The fact I have said, like, his game is violent.
Yes. Like Derrick Rose.
You understand what I'm saying? Exactly. And it just didn't start with the pros. It started back in high school.
Yeah.
So at some point, we kind of knew what was going to happen.
Not just fast, though. Oof.
Well, it's going to happen, man.
Damn, the wheels came off at him before they put the wheels on.
Well, that's the thing. The wheels came off at Duke when he burst out of his shoe.
When he threw out that sneaker.
That was, I mean, that wasn't a sign.
Yeah. And he missed what? I think 7 games?
Yeah.
After that incident with the sneaker?
Yeah. They were almost like afraid to have him on the court because they didn't want him to mess up his draft.
But even then, people, again, here in North Carolina, they was like, this guy looks more like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man than a damn basketball player.
Yeah,
for sure.
He just never looked like, I'm not going to say he ate himself out of the league or he just eats too much. I don't know. I don't know his makeup. I don't know him personally. I'm just saying when you look at him, you're like,
well,
he's a prototypical ball player.
Yeah, he doesn't look it, and he's the type. He's got that body type that it can get away from you real quick. So if you're not doing basketball things because you're rehabbing or whatever, that's not getting you.
No.
That's healing, but it's not getting you in basketball shape. And and it's kind of hard to say what playing shape is when you don't play.
Right. He's like the opposite of Luther. Remember how Luther's weight kept going up and down and up and down?
Yeah.
But his weight never went down. Just, stays here and either goes this way or
that way.
I think, guys, honestly, I'm not going to say his career is over, but maybe one foot on the banana peel, the other one out the door.
I was about to say, Dom.
I just don't see him fulfilling anything that close to what we thought.
You know who would probably bite on it if they could muster up the money? The Lakers.
I was going to say, that was
they're into that blitz.
Yeah. Well, that's like a California way too. Everybody goes to try something new and reinvent themselves.
They're more into glitz. They're more into glitz and glamour. And you know what? I hate to say it, our Knicks, we were like that for a minute. We wanted that shiny object.
Absolutely.
Even if it was broke, we still wanted that shiny object.
Right.
Exactly.
And I gotta give the people Dolan hired this time. I gotta give them 80% credit for what we're watching, what we're seeing. From the get-go, from the door, we got Thibodeau.
I don't know about from the get-go, Dom, because
I'm saying when they put this group together,
I'm just saying before they got who they have now,
right?
When they first hired Leon Rose or whatnot and Worldwide West or whatnot, it was a little dicey. It was a little dicey.
For a minute.
For a minute, it was that. It was a little dicey because
not even a year, about a year.
But
the minute they signed Thibodeau, the complexity of this team changed because now we had a coach.
Right.
Other than we didn't have a point guard for a decade or 2 decades or a century, we never really had a coach, guys. Remember, before Thibodeau, we had 5 coaches in 6 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Lost 65 games twice.
Yeah.
He at least gave us some cachet. Then we put the pieces together.
Be careful, because there's somebody that you never know. They could be watching the show.
Yeah,
I ain't scared of him. I said it in front of him. I said it in front of him. I ain't scared of that guy. I ain't scared of that guy.
I don't know, guys. They've done a commendable job, guys. We went from 65 losses, playoffs, missed the playoffs, and then been in the playoffs ever since.
Yeah.
Okay, they've been second round exits, but considering we weren't in the playoffs for like 15 years.
For sure.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We got to give a little credit. But again,
I do give them credit. I'm just saying.
I remember like Dave said. I mean, they're probably still out there, Dave. There's a few out there that like brings Zion to the Knicks.
Yeah.
They're still out there. There's a few of them lunatics that think where's he going to play?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
What is he? Is he a power forward?
Yeah, I think he.
Yeah, we're kind of sort of
either
a power forward.
Yeah.
That's all right.
But he ain't going to fit the bill. I'll tell you what scares me about the Knicks right now, Dave. Not to get off subject, but basketball. I'm assuming we all come to grips. Mitchell Robinson's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
The Knicks ain't going to do the Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns, which leads me to this, Dave. Here's a guy that didn't want to play the 5. Hence the reason Minnesota went out and bankrolled their whole future to get Rudy Gobert. Now you're playing the 5 and you're busting every 5's ass. So I know that Mitch Robinson thing is, hey, Mitch, 16 minutes. But I'll tell you what, he can be a good anchor coming off the bench. Rebound.
He could. And do you think that Mitch would accept a role like that?
He's got about 1 more year.
Yeah.
After this to accept it and move on. Or
I mean, you know what? I mean, no player thinks like this, but I would say he should because he's not on the court when we need him. So I mean, at this point, find a way that you are serviceable to the team. I mean, nobody's saying that you suck, but we just don't get much out of Mitchell Robinson. Every time I turn around, he gets hurt.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
The luxury of it all, Dave. He has a very easily movable contract.
Okay, yeah.
15 mil a year in today's NBA. They get rid of his ass tomorrow.
And I think before you go, Dom, I wanted to say the benefit of Robinson carrying over being hurt from last season into this season is that we didn't get the videos of him shooting and doing all this other
right.
You remember every other year?
Exactly.
Yeah, sort of like Melo. Melo looked like Mike Tyson in the video.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then the season he looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I don't know. I don't get it, but
you remember Hoodie Melo and everybody.
Exactly.
I don't buy. I don't. But I do think, guys, that Zion. God bless him. I mean, he got the money.
Yeah.
But I don't see, other than the Lakers,
no.
Who's gonna, or like I said, maybe it would be kind of hard for Detroit because who the hell is making money on that team?
Exactly.
They ain't traded Cam. They ain't traded Cam Cunningham.
Yeah.
They ain't trading that.
They ain't traded Ivy.
No.
So no. I don't know how they gonna muster up $44 million.
Well, like you said, man.
Coach.
Right.
One foot on the banana peel, the other. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So much for that.
I missed it. They had a tribute to Cat.
A tribute to who? Right.
Yeah,
oh man, okay. I forgot they was playing 9:30.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last one for the evening.
It's
out.
Dom's favorite.
Your boy Doc did his thing.
The
Milwaukee Bucks. They got the Emirates NBA Cup. Are they actually on the right track? They started out the gate a little stumbly. Okay. They started out stumbling a little bit, but have they actually figured it out? I mean, I know I say that, and they just won the NBA Cup, but they're looking good. They're looking good. I will give them that. They're looking better than the Philadelphia 76ers. That's for damn
sure. But they're where I thought they would be. I had them as a 4 or 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They're right where I thought they'd be.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good team. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
I don't see them topping the Knicks. I don't see them topping Boston. Maybe Cleveland. That might put them at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't trust the Damian Lillard thing.
Why don't you trust it?
Because he and it's no knock against him. He's used to a certain way to play.
Mm-hmm.
Where the ball got to be in his hand. He had to take. And I will say this about Giannis, though. He ain't afraid to give up the shine. He's going to go to the basket. Don't get me wrong. There was a stat that for every 21 points that Giannis scores, creates 7 extra 3-pointers. Because his ability to go to the basket, and you know what? He's not a bad passer, guys. He's had quite a few He had a triple-double in the last game of the Sippy Cup.
Okay.
He's not afraid to pass the ball. He's become a much better passer. But for every 21 points he scores, it creates 7 extra 3-point shots. Baskets made, to be exact. Strange. I just listen to too many numbers, guys. But I think there'll be a 4 seed, maybe 4 or 5 seed. And who do they got after Giannis and Lillard? You can't depend on Middleton no more. Their benches, Portis.
Yeah.
Lopez.
Lopez, exactly. Connington.
Yeah, how far are they going? They're sort of like what happened to Indiana. Made it to the conference finals last year. Have you heard from them lately?
Right. I mean, I could probably agree with your assessment, to you, honestly. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what the good thing is? They're in the East, so they have time to mess up and
right.
And then injuries to Orlando and anything could happen. I mean, but I just think they're where they're supposed to be. The Sippy Cup. You know what the funny thing is? Again, today I happen to listen to a lot of Sirius XM. They had somebody on from the Bucks, and they said this dude was like this shit like a championship. To Giannis. He played just like it was a real championship.
Exactly. Well, not just Giannis,
to get that 500,000.
Doc.
Well, exactly. Not just Doc, but also I forgot. I was listening to a reading report about this guy Connington saying that they wanted to give Damian Lillard that experience of winning.
Yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
He hasn't had that.
No, he hasn't. You know?
No.
Right, you get it where you can.
Yeah,
for sure.
I understand the 500,000 for the R's and the Dominics of the team. I get that. That's a great incentive, but I tell you what, there's a funny statistic with that too. The last 2 teams to win the Sippy Cup, well, the only team, Lakers, the 2 teams that made it, the 2 teams that made it to the Sippy Cup last year, the Lakers and the Pacers. The Lakers went on to lose 11 out of 13. And I think the Pacers lost 13 out of 15 after the Sippy Cup.
Right.
I don't know what it is about. Maybe it was a jinx. It couldn't have been they was tired. Because you know what, guys? It's still, at the end of the day, just another game.
Yeah.
Though the championship, I just found this out today. The championship does not go against your record.
Okay.
Because you remember last year, because of how far the Bucks got, and the Knicks got, I think, to the semis.
Yeah.
The Knicks ended up playing the Bucks 5 times last year. Yeah, and those games counted because it wasn't a championship game.
Right.
That's some weird shit. So in other words, yesterday's game was like winner gets $500,000, but nobody loses.
Yeah, right.
That's funny. I like that. That. That's cool.
I do like that aspect of it. And I heard that they didn't pop the champagne.
No champagne. No.
Right.
But this is where the NBA again. This is where the NBA got to get better at stuff. Because there's something else I found out this year. You do know that the season and the schedule gets shifted once you get eliminated. Like you don't have no scheduled games until you get eliminated. And here's where the Boston Celtics, best team in the league, NBA champs, when they got eliminated, guess who their next 3 opponents was? The 3 worst teams in the Eastern Conference. The Pistons, the Bullets, or the Wizards, and Toronto. Right. Because there's no game that they don't know how far you're going to get. Yeah. So once you get eliminated, we got to reinvent this wheel and start adding games to this.
Yeah.
And here's why I thought, believe it or not, guys, I think they should do this before the season starts. Instead of having summer league, instead of having preseason games, run the Sippy Cup concurrently in Vegas. Do the whole damn thing in Vegas.
Okay.
And just do it like that. It don't go against your record. Actually gives you a chance to work out, get your shit together. Yeah. And it don't count for nothing like towards your season. Right, and then get you a 3-4 week break. Yeah. Come back, do a little training camp, and get into the season. Because now you're not reinventing the wheel. Again, every team that was in it, Dave, when they got eliminated, oh shit, now we got to sit back and say, who else got eliminated? And we got to start putting all these pieces together to create a schedule on the fly. Kind of weird, but the Celtics benefited from it.
Yeah.
Right.
To be honest, they benefited like a mug.
Because those games count.
Those Dave. Those games count. So they got some tweaking to do, but again, it's a money grab, and
you already know.
And even that's not selling as far as ratings, guys. So
no.
I mean, I can't tell how the crowd was in Vegas. I didn't watch the last game actually, so
me neither.
I don't know what the hell happened. I just know OKC got smoked. I know they got beat pretty bad. And you're right though. They didn't pop no champagne, Dave.
Yeah.
They went in there, had their little sippy cup, and went on about their business.
That was it.
Good deal.
That was it. Oh, let's see. Oh well. And as Mr. Ronan comes in, I was about to end.
He said 9:30.
He said 9:30. I know.
Well, it's a little bit after 9:30. Sorry. My apologies, brother. My apologies. Next time. It's all good. You missed a hell of a show, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. But guys, I gotta close it down. I'm so sorry, Ronan.
What was that? What is it? The Tonight Show. Where they always would have like, is it Matt Damon? And they would say, they ran out of time, and it was like a running joke. Like that. I don't remember which one it was, but it was one of those things. And
I don't know if was it Matt Damon?
I don't remember who it was now, but it was always like it was a running joke on the show, and they would always like run out of time and then say, "Oh, we'll get you the next time" or something like that.
I will say one thing.
I know what that is.
I don't want to keep you off. Did y'all see that little segment where Kenny and Shaq was going at it? Again, it's a shit show, but it was kind of funny. They were going at it, and Kenny Smith was like, "Well, do you think?" He was talking about competing. And Kenny Smith said, "Well, you think Jay-Z would?" And Barkley stopped him.
He was like, "Now's not a good."
Not there, now. And Shaq just got up and walked away.
and Ernie was like, "Yeah, check the wall back
there. Let me help you check the wall." And they all disappeared. I was like,
hilarious,
stupid,
hilarious. All right, guys, that's it for me. So. Thank you, Dave. Thanks, Dom. Thanks, Ronan, for your support. Sorry. Thank you for checking us out. We'll be back again. Well, we'll be back next week. Next week is the day after Christmas, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it? When is Christmas? Wednesday?
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I'll check with you guys during the week and see how what the
yeah.
I ain't got no kids. Shit. None of us got little kids. I don't know about Ronan.
No, exactly. So there you go.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you very much for your support.
All right.
Thank you.
No doubt. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And that's it, guys. Rest easy.
All right.